From our studios on Florida's Gulf Coast, this is Women of Grace Live. Join us today as we discuss issues important to your life and faith. Spiritual insight, compelling discussion, practical wisdom. Women of Grace for such a time as this. Now, here's your host, Johnnette Benkovic.
Well, I've got a little bit of a surprise for you. As you may have already figured out, this is not Johnnette Benkovic, but this is actually Jack Williams sitting in for Johnnette Benkovic, coming to you live from the Orange County Convention Center here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. And we are at the USCCB's 2017 Convocation for Catholic Leadership. Of course, you've heard much about this if you've been listening during the course of the morning. Beautiful Eucharistic procession this morning, led by Archbishop Laurie from the Archdiocese of Baltimore. And our TV coverage on the TV side is just wrapping up. So Johnnette will be making her way over here. She's going to bring Jonathan Reyes with her, who has been co-anchoring the TV coverage with her. Jonathan working for the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. And we're going to have a convocation-themed program here today on Women of Grace. We may have some time to take some phone calls if you've got something you'd like to ask, maybe about the convocation, or if you have any thoughts about things that you would like to see folks talk about here at the convocation. The numbers are 1-800-585-9396. That's toll-free anywhere in North America. 1-800-585-9396. If you're outside the United States and Canada, we'd love to hear from you as well. Your number is 1-205-271-2985. And we will put you straight to the front of the line at 1-205-271-2985. You can also email us. Send an email to womenofgrace@EWTN.com. You can also text your question to Johnnette. You can text the letters EWTN to 55000. Wait for a response. Text your first name and your question. Message and data rates may apply. As I mentioned, I'm Jack Williams, sitting in right here at the beginning of the program for Johnnette until she makes her way over from our TV coverage. That'll be wrapping up here in just a moment. And our producers, Mr. Tom Gray. Matt Gubensky is your call screener. And handling all of our social media endeavors, Mr. Jeff Burson. A wonderful event here at the Convocation for Catholic Leaders. The theme of the event is the joy of the gospel. And many bishops present. You'd be hard-pressed to find too many members of the conference that are not here at the event here at the Orange County Convention Center. But they've been presenting plenary sessions for the entire group and then breakout sessions. Very interesting setup for the breakout sessions here at the Convocation. Media are not allowed beyond a certain point where the breakout rooms are located, so that folks that are attending these various breakout sessions on various topics can feel free to speak freely about the issues that face the church in America. And it has led, from what I've been told from people who have attended these breakout sessions, it has made for incredibly candid discussions and very productive discussions. And it's been stressed before all of these breakout sessions that this is not a forum to criticize the teaching of the church. This is a forum to have constructive dialogue about the issues that face the church around the world, but in particular here in the United States. And everyone really, as far as what I've seen, everyone has done an outstanding job of keeping that theme in mind and being faithful to that particular caveat of the Bishops' Conference. And it has led, as I said, for some very productive breakout sessions. The plenary sessions have been outstanding with beautiful talks from some of our bishops, and the evenings have all wrapped up with everybody gathering in the big main ballroom. And on Saturday night, the first evening of the Convocation, it was an evening of Marian devotion. And with 3,500 people in a room, with a beautiful group of musicians assembled for this very purpose, the evening culminated with the Rosary of Our Lady being prayed in virtually every language that you can imagine. Just about every Hail Mary was in a different language. And it made for just a beautiful, beautiful experience. People from various cultures that now live in the United States were able to hear a portion of that rosary in their own particular language. And it was just a beautiful experience for most of the people that attended. I think for everyone who attended that particular session. On Sunday evening, last night, there was an evening of adoration and reflection. Encountering Jesus, healer of wounds and source of mercy. And on the heels of the year of mercy that our great Holy Father, Pope Francis, had instituted for last year, just wrapping up with the holy doors around the world. It was a beautiful evening. A lot of tears in the room last night as these good folks were able to share the things that were on their heart and to experience the love and mercy of God. We've had, during these evening sessions, Tony Melendez, who will be a familiar name to many of our people, the beautiful Catholic musician born without arms, plays the guitar with his feet. Really came into prominence when he was featured performing for the late Holy Father, St. John Paul the Great. And Tony was able to perform here. And then tonight there's an evening of witness and praise. And, two of the most anointed Catholic musicians on the scene today, Audrey Assad and Matt Maher, will lead the praise and worship tonight, which surely will be a spectacular event. Again, I'm Jack Williams, sitting in at the beginning of the program here for Johnnette Benkovic. That makes me, I think, an honorary woman of grace, but she will make her way hopefully sometime during the hour. But we'd love to hear from you today. If you'd like to call the program, the number's 1-800-585-9396. That's toll-free anywhere in North America. 1-800-585-9396 if you're outside the United States and Canada. Your number is 1-205-271-2985. That's 1-205-271-2985. You can also text your question to Johnnette. Women of Grace is a 21st century apostolate, and we'll take your text at text the letters EWTN to 55000. That's the letters EWTN. Text that to 55000. Wait for a response. Text your first name and your question. And remember that message and data rates may apply. Of course, the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass has been a big portion of this convocation as well. There have been two large Eucharistic celebrations since we've been here, and it was very beautiful this morning. The event kicked off this morning bright and early. As a matter of fact, during Morning Glory that we broadcast live here from the convocation with a Eucharistic procession led by Archbishop William Laurie, the Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Baltimore. And it started on another part of the convention complex. This is my first trip to the convention center here in Orange County in Orlando, and it has to be one of the largest convention complexes in the United States. It's certainly one of the biggest things that I've ever seen. And they started on a section a little bit of ways away from the main area of the convocation and processed through the streets of Orlando here around the convention complex and made its way into the complex. And you could hear the music that accompanied the procession was being piped into the convention hall here, and then everyone processed in. You don't see, if 3,500 people, I dare say, had showed up in the streets for any other reason, from this event, and hopefully their good works will be things that the secular news 9396. If you're outside the United States and Canada, your number is 1-205-271-2985. 1-205-271-2985. We're going to step away for just 1 second. When we come back, we'll be joined by The co-host of Morning Glory, Miss Morning Gloria Purvis. She'll join us in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. We're live from the 2017 USCCB Convocation for Catholic Leaders here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. Right back after this.
EWTN News Nightly with Lauren Ashburn.
I met the Pope when he came to Washington, D.C., and from that moment on, I knew that I had to combine my faith with journalism, my job. I love coming to work because I know that I can talk about God on television and my pro-life views. And now, not only do I share it,
touching Christ, Thomas cried out, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said to him, "Because you have seen me, Thomas, you have believed. Blessed are the Lord."
If you'd like to receive a daily Grace Line by email, go to womenofgrace.com and click on the word Grace Line.
Welcome back, friends. This is not Johnnette Benkovic, and I am not a woman of grace, but we're sitting in for Johnnette as she's finishing up her the co-host of Morning Glory, Miss Gloria Purvis, is joining us along with
of the Catholic Church in the United States. The second one was really unraveling what it means, the radical call to missionary discipleship. And
inside look to the folks who haven't been able to make it here. What's kind of the format of those discussions been in such a large group?
So what we've had is, if I'm not mistaken, for American Magazine, and she also wanted to talk about mercy in the landscape. And then we had Damon and Melanie Owens give a wonderful witness about their call into the church, how it was a call acted on from love and not the law. And our listeners, if they watch EWTN, are probably familiar with Damon Owens because he's done some television series as well for the network. And this is just a taste of the caliber of the people that we have had on all these panels.
I know you're technically working here, but I'm sure you've found these presentations inspirational yourself.
Not only inspirational, it has called me to some interior searching. You know, there are things that we all need to be asking ourselves. How do I encounter Christ daily? How can I become more closely united with him? How am I living out the call to missionary discipleship? So all of us are called here to do that bit of introspection, right? Because none of us have arrived yet. And so, yeah, it's been an interior dialogue I've had with myself. And then this morning, Eucharistic adoration, the procession into the grand ballroom, I was just moved and overcome with tears at the great love the Lord has.
What's going on here so far?
Well, my perspective is that when you arrive at a convocation like this, you're very much aware, and because we talk about all of the challenges that we're facing as a church engaged in ministry, to talk with bishops.
Not yet. I actually plan to go to one at 11:30 today. I think this is when the delegates get to actually have more interaction with the panelists. Then they can say...
Privilege of...
taking over Women of Grace.
Well, I think everybody can tell that I am not you and you are not me.
You are not a woman of grace, Jack.
30 this afternoon. And as it goes at these kinds of events, schedules are a little flexible. So while I intended to be here, it didn't work out that way. But we were able to interview Father Paul Check, and he was a participant, Gloria, in the last plenary session, a very important contribution that he made to us. I'm going to go and was listening to you speak, Gloria, and you too, Matthew. There is a tremendous transparency for this, you know, and the continued prayer that is here. It was a highlight of this event to have that Eucharistic procession.
Yes.
Because you could see the entire body coming together, adoring our Lord, who makes us all one in his mystical body. I've seen you all like right coming up to me. That's the way I looked at it. Mm-hmm. So, of course, you know, there's no other way to show your love except to bend the knee. So it was lovely. All three of us were kneeling up there. Jonathan, the real world, right? That we don't lose what we've experienced here, but rather that it grows within us.
Well, that's one of the calls, actually. As a part of the convocation, they have there's a program participant guidebook where they ask them to think about how you can take this back, whether it be
the spirit session this morning, that public witness that would have been outside in what everyone knows is a lot of very hot weather.
It's Florida and it's July.
Florida in July.
Yes.
But that public witness that the power of the Eucharist
in their interactions with us through whatever the service activity or whatever it is, that they also are affected by our presence here.
Yeah, and as we're thinking about this, I'm very aware of the fact that we've had a beautiful example for us today. And one of the things that also impressed me so very much about the procession itself,
At least in this discussion, they're not just guiding it, but they want to hear what people have to say, what the participants have to say, out of respect for their experiences, their expertise.
Yes. Yes. Well, it gives us an opportunity, I mean, so much to help that. And I just got to give kudos to my girlfriend here.
Amen.
Gloria, and you walked that line perfectly.
Johnnette,
So
I'm
often
so humbled. Thank you. I'm so humbled.
I was going to say, so often in gatherings like this, you miss these opportunities when you have these great experts in front of you.
Yes.
You didn't miss the opportunity.
No, she
Thank
did not.
you.
She did not. And that goes to the talent that God's given to you, that you're returning back to Him for the honor and the glory of His church at this moment in the history of man. Manning the feminine seat, and I think handling it so well. Thank you very much, Jack, for filling in for me here and being with us.
Radio has certain perils about it.
Yes.
I have my own show. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Oh,
Now, I listen to
have
Women of
heard
Grace.
you from
I'm
time
sure
to
you probably
time.
don't listen to Open Line, but
Actually, I do.
but I take a break on my show
Do you?
at a little different time than you take a break on your show.
Truly.
So we can actually chat with these wonderful folks for about another minute and a half.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Indeed.
That's
Okay.
right.
Well, there you have it.
Oh,
See,
good.
I'm learning all kinds of new things that I wouldn't know other than the opportunity to be at this convocation.
As am I.
Yeah, and we can just continue to talk
Okay, good.
because that's what we do, right?
Secret level, and they're not being covered by anyone.
Right, exactly.
And I think that this has really generated.
Who don't have the privilege of being here.
Look, respect that confidentiality, and I'll tell you who I respect. I respect you, Matthew Bunson. I respect you, Gloria Purvis.
Likewise.
I respect you, Jack Williams, and I respect all of you out there. And we do want to encourage you to stay with.
Tool for evangelization that the church has today. And I know this because we hear from people all over the world that tell us all the time they came to faith in Christ in the Catholic Church through Catholic radio. Guy that lives right next door to you, he might not ask you about your Catholic faith.
It's about it. It's also subtitled An African Priest Explores the Power of Faith from Abraham to You. As best you can, give us a short synopsis of this work.
It really walks you through from the actual
Journey and available through our catalog, of course. Check it out. Check out the entire interview coming soon to EWTN.
Mary, as far as I'm concerned, all religions are equal.
You are called to communion with Dr. David Anders.
The joy how it applies to the situations, challenges, issues that we face here in the United States of America today. And I am so delighted to have with us Sister Norma Pimentel to their geographic location. Welcome to Women of Grace, Sister Norma.
Thank you so much.
It's lovely to have you there with us here today. And when I think about the Diocese of Brownsville, I'm recollecting a time when I was there not too many years ago, giving a series of talks for about 2,500 people that were going to consecrate themselves to Jesus through Mary, through the work of David Cavillo and Real Men Pray the Rosary. And, I hadn't been to this.
That is church present in the valley, the Rio Grande Valley, has responded, has moved forward, has said yes to welcome the many immigrants that are coming to our border that need our help. They open their hearts.
English. And you say they're coming from 31 different countries. Many of these people, as you shared in the plenary session this morning, are individuals that are coming up through South America, Latin America, coming into Mexico, and then on into the United States.
That's right. Many of these families, especially the people that come from Central America, like Guatemala, Salvador,
with has to do with the dignity and value of the human person, and that's where you meet them.
That's right. Truly, that's what we do. We restore the dignity of the person. Their dignity has been destroyed, and by the time they arrive to a
community is through public devotions. And is this very much at the heart of what you do through Catholic Charities as well?
Yes, public devotion. Respectful way that not just being intrusive or just because I want to help you I'll just tell you what to do. No, I invite them. Allow me to help you if you can, and they go off to somewhere where they're going to meet their family.
Yes. Your bishop was sharing with us that in many cases these individuals are coming under strange circumstances and under a great deal of duress. I'm sure. Well,
most certainly, it's a give and take. We all receive something special because in that encounter we encounter the presence of God. When we are able to reach out to them, they give to us their faith and their joy of the gospel as well.
Yes, it's so beautiful. And I'm very well aware of the fact that a lot of people listening to us today certainly don't live on the border of another country. And a lot of the people that are listening to us today are not going to have, an immediate opportunity to interact with an immigrant who's coming into this country. But nonetheless, what you're sharing with us seems to me to be
believe that God is with you. And because if you believe that God is with you, God will guide you to be that person that He wants you to be.
Yeah, you said that in the plenary session, and it struck deeply within me. And I think that so many individuals today are in a type of, spiritual periphery, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
They might think that they're unworthy, or that they've sinned too greatly, or that God couldn't care about them because it doesn't seem as though their life is going in the direction they want it to go in. But He does want to be present to each of us, and is.
He is there with us, with every single one.
To the heart of another. Thank you, sister.
You're welcome.
God bless you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
I had the great pleasure, Johnnette, of
asking. And of who we are.
Yes.
And that's very important, and it's amazing. Once you see the face of the immigrant, their stories, you're transformed to really reach out.
It's up for us. We become so closed in on our own situations, on our own circumstances, that we're not open to another. But it is when we open our hearts to another that you can still call us, even though we're at the convocation, we're on location 29. So happy to introduce to you our next two guests, because they're dear friends of mine, and we work together in mission area. That would be our diocese.
Johnnette,
Have you with us. And Isabel, you just arrived. Mary, you've been here since the beginning, so I'm going to start with you, Mary. Give us a panoramic view of what you've experienced as a woman of grace here.
It comes to mind waiting for that gift. Mm. And it immediately drew my mind to the Blessed Mother giving her. I have received so many wonderful comments from people, and they're very, very excited about the whole thing, and they're very, very excited about learning more.
To give program for the adult women, but also for our young women of grace, which I think is particularly necessary for this moment, especially with the challenges regarding youth, which is why I'm thinking you picked that particular breakout session to go to, Mary. And Isabel Liberator has been with us from the beginning, from the inception.
Marian's gone to is the idea of encounter and the idea of mercy, and how important opportunity to encounter the church in a living and breathing way. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that's so beautiful about our study, is it talks about the woundedness that we all carry, whether it's sins that have been inflicted upon us or sins that we've inflicted. And you extended mercy to me, and I've grown through my time in this apostle.
Frequently is that formation has to take place. We have to know the faith, and we have to live the faith. And we offer you that opportunity. And